We decided a tag team was the best way to do this in true co-op spirit. We've lived with Peter at View Court for 9 years. 9 years, yeah.
Thank you, Vanessa. I was like, I should have worn heels. I never wear at your height.
It's been a great honor living and working with Peter. We loved him for his presence and commitment to our community.
So we wanted to offer some snapshots of our time and experiences with him at View Court.
Peter was a visionary, an instigator, and supported social justice.
Peter had long-range perspective, always open to how to make things better in the future, and wanted things that we were doing at View Court to help others as well. He was on the board during our co-op's mortgage rollout, and his vision led to collaboration with the Cooperative Housing Federation of BC, obtaining funding to help us do our planning, and allowed View Court to be an early template for their 2020 vision program. He really wanted to support more co-op housing and tried to spur that into action. The idea of co-ops putting money into a capital pool to support the development of new co-ops and to shake the government into action. He led the way for View Court to designate a suite for a person living with AIDS some years ago. He also had advocated for us to have a suite for a single mother. That one didn't happen, but he was very keen. He dreamt up and got membership support for 2 internal funds that can be used for special projects to strengthen co-ops and community. Even when he was ill, he was still thinking ahead and leading by example. When the house next door came for sale, he thought we should investigate buying it to expand our co-op. Peter was a driving force behind the green group we have in our co-op, developing clear objectives and policies to be more ecologically conscious. He wanted clear, measurable indicators, and so was very excited when he discovered on the BC Hydro website there was all this information he could graph our gas usage over the years and communicating that to others. So Peter also facilitated engagement.
So as well as being really engaged in so many ways over the years in the co-op community, he also facilitated other people's engagement. He was a good listener and liked examining ideas and generating discussion. At co-op meetings, there would be some crazy, rip-roaring discussion, and as chair, he'd be able to say, "I'm hearing several themes, let's discuss them one at a time." He really had an ability to tease out discussion threads, which allowed clarification, refocusing the discussion, and a real working together of our members. Peter was respectful.
He recognized that in a co-op, things don't move quickly. And yet he didn't give up. He would keep nudging things along. He balanced the need for efficiency with awareness of process and respect for others. Even if Peter didn't care for certain people or was annoyed by their actions, he was still respectful in his words and interactions with them. And because of that, he was appreciated and well respected in our co-op. Last Thursday, we had a celebration of Peter and who he was for us in the evening, and 28 of our 38 members came to that celebration, even more than have attended general meetings in recent history. A real indicator of how respected and valued he was. So Peter was a great conversationalist and shared his expertise.
The bike room at View Court was like Grand Central Station sometimes, and even co-op members who hadn't been on committees with Peter had stories about crossing paths with him and conversations that happened in the bike room, sharing of information about bikes and many other things. He was secure in the knowledge he had about so many different things and didn't have to advertise it, and yet shared it very freely. He had a rich history in our co-op with lots of involvement in all sorts of different ways for 20 years. He definitely was a carrier of institutional memory, and during the last couple of years it seemed he was trying to gift aspects of that to various co-op members, recognizing people's strengths and interests and helping them to develop those. he had other ways of conversation as well. So one of his calling cards, if you were lucky, was a monster beat that he would leave outside your door. No label, no note, but you knew it was from Peter.
So Peter also appreciated elegance and beauty.
And it seemed to be elegance and beauty around him in many forms, ideas, things, experiences. So some that really come to mind for us were a cashmere wool sweater, images from a film that he'd seen, a beautiful evening kayaking in False Creek, delicious egg tart or good ice cream, a clever souvenir from Buenos Aires, a Christmas cactus flower, and even a well-crafted policy. Peter was playful and mischievous.
I had great fun creating events in the co-op, sparking ideas about how to have more fun while we were conducting the business of our co-op. Such to the point I was so used to calling him to chat about what we were doing, what was planning, that earlier this week when we were planning the celebration of Peter, I actually had the impulse to call him to see, like, how do you think about these ideas? And it was such a shock, that moment of, right, this is for him. It's not the same. Several years ago, we were planning to do something at the end of our AGM, our annual and general meeting, to have a little bit more fun. And I said, let's have a dance at the end, because I love dancing. And so Peter suddenly, on the spot, came up with the AGM dance. And so we would like to invite all of you to do the AGM dance with us at this moment. So if you want to please stand. So first thing in the AGM is you have to read what we're discussing. So you're holding your hands out, and then we're reading. We're reading. We're reading. We're reading. We're reading. And then we are discussing. Discussing. And then we're listening. We're listening. We're listening. We're listening. We're listening. And then we're voting. Voting. Thank you.